thank him for this work because you know, when we first met about Uruguay, for us, we saw the dynamism and volunteer aspect of the work, and in fact, we were really motivated. And maybe we shall take a first say about today's meeting, because it is a very important time for us. It is our first memorandum of understanding and big partnership with American continent. So that's why this is a historic time for us also. And when we first met with Mr. Consul General, it was because we were preparing an American summit in Gaziantep. And during this meeting, we had this idea, and he suggested this very interesting idea, saying that why not having this common language organization, business organizations together, so that we can have this common action, speak the same language. And that's why we had today's meeting. Maybe first of all, Mr. President, let me introduce our organization, because of course we had some exchanges, but as you know, MÜSİAD is Turkey's main industrialist and businessman association. We are in every Turkish city. We have 87 offices in Turkey, but we are a global organization with more than 200 international representative points in the world, in all continents. And that makes for us very important international relations, international collaborations. And from the foundation of our organization, we are 30 years old this year. We have, from the beginning, given a lot of importance to international partnership. MÜSİAD is organized also in Turkey through very important international organizations, and it will be one of the subjects today. We organize every 2 years the region's most important business event, which is MÜSİAD Expo. It is 100,000 square meters. We receive like 12,000 international businessmen visitors during 5 days in Istanbul. And it is a time when the world meets in our event in Istanbul. And this year it will be the last week of November. And it is a very important time for us. With MÜSİAD also, you know, we have some international projects about different industrial projects in Africa, because our actors, our members are very active in Africa, where we have more than 25 branches. And for us, it is very important. But today's important thing, of course, is that for us, America is a very important place. And also, we know that Uruguay is the continent's, one of the continent's most doing business country where really business rules are implemented, and where we can really develop all the continent, also because of your participation to regions' economic structures, and they are very important to us. Maybe Mr. President will tell you about this. So sorry for this long introduction, but I wanted to set the first things maybe we can speak about. And now, please, Mr. Consul General, Mr. President, word is yours, floor is yours, and please.
Well, thank you very much once again. And I would like, first of all, to especially thanks to Mr. Diego Pérez, our consul, who has done an excellent work, and he managed to put us together. And I think that this is a historic day for a chamber. There's no doubt that this is a the D-Day for us in many aspects. So we are very happy to be involved with you. Let me tell you something about, a little bit of story about our chamber. The Chamber of Commerce and Service of Uruguay is it's a very old institution that was founded in 1867. That makes us the oldest chamber in the country. We have more than 150 years of life or existence, and we gather around about more or less 14,000 companies that are involved to our chamber. So it's really, for a small country, we take care of all which is involved commerce and service, and we are represented in all the cities of this country. As you know, Uruguay is a very small country, and we are divided in departments, which is it's a legal division smaller than a province, and we are represented in all in all the departments here. So we can say that we can reach all the cities of the country. What else can I tell you about the country? Well, as you know, Uruguay is a very reliable country. We have a very high rank. We are very high rank in democracy. We are the number one in the region, or maybe the number two. I think we are just fighting the first place with Costa Rica, and it's a very stable country. We have a very strong parliament. We have a very independent and strong also justice, and a very independent government. So we have the three powers that are completely independent, and that makes us a very reliable country. In order to do business, and everyone who can come to Uruguay, he will feel that he is guaranteed to have everything according to business, and he will not have any problem. Although we are a small country, we know that we need, because of our size, to be open to the worldwide. So we are doing that. We are members of the Mercosur, but we are also focusing in opening more markets, bilateral markets between Uruguay and all the markets that are able and wanted to work with us. Turkey, it's a very important market for us. We are exporting a lot of goods to Turkey, and we are also importing goods from Turkey. I was explaining, Diego, personally, I work in the area of defense and sports, and I'm importing from Turkey shotguns. You know the brand Kan Arms. It's a big company in Turkey, and it's a very good company, especially in shotguns. And we have been selling shotguns to the government and to the public in general. But going back to the country, as I told you, we are a good country to do business in South America. And I think we are in a very strategic place that we can spread from here. You can spread to the rest of the countries in South America. So once again, I can tell you that we are very anxious and happy for this contract that we're signing today. And we are looking forward to do business and actually to strengthen our relationship between both organizations. I think that's the best result, and the best thing we can do is to strengthen as much as we can our relations. So that will bring business to all our partners, and that's what we are here for. So, Mr. President, thank you for our introduction, and well, the table is open for everyone who wants to talk.
Of course, the person who permitted this signing document today, Mr. Consul General, please.
For me, it's a real pleasure to be here to be in the middle of this relation between MUSIAD and the Chamber of Commerce, the National Chamber of Commerce of Uruguay. Two very good friends of mine, and of course MUSIAD was the first official visit that I did as a Consul General here in Istanbul. And I was surprised in a very good way how open were the doors of MUSIAD to receive Uruguay and our wishes to go deeply further in our bilateral relations. I think Uruguay and Turkey have so many things to do together. A great business opportunities, but also so many things to share in our general bilateral relations. I suppose this is the way we should take these small steps, giving our relationship, our bilateral relations, the framework, the legal framework, and the institutionalization for after try another actions and put together in contact businessmen. For businessmen, it's very important that as a country we have this kind of very formal and very institutionalized relation. This is very good. This share also the way Uruguay has already signed with Turkey an agreement in technical, commercial, and economical cooperation. That is a very good frame. We are negotiating now also the agreement for promotion and protection of mutual bilateral investment is on the table in these days, and also the agreement about double taxation. All these actions could be very good and will give our relationship many benefits. So I am very glad to be here between you. Thank you so much for the interest that both parts gave to me in order that could do the things I did to put you together. And I think you are both great organizations, great business organizations with a strong determination and strong work to create and to organize many good actions in both directions for both countries. So I am truly honored to be here and to share this floor today with you and to witness a little bit this signature of the cooperation agreement that you will sign in a few minutes. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Consul General. Mr. President, maybe, of course, there is a big distance, not for hearts, but physical distance between our two countries. Maybe our members can ask some questions about the COVID-19 period, how it is managed, how the business community in Uruguay is coping with a very special situation. If you can give us some information about Uruguay business communities' actions during this COVID-19 period.
Yes, of course, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to apologize to my colleagues who are on my side. I didn't introduce them, but I will do it now. On my left hand, I have Ms. Ana Laura Fernandez. She is the chief of the economic department here at the chamber, and she is also in charge of the international business. And on my right hand is Mr. Santiago Teperino, who is the key man for this international relations between our chamber and all the other chambers worldwide. These two persons have been working very strongly with Diego Pérez, and they are responsible, and I want to thank them because all this about the things they did and have been doing during this last period, concerning to this memory of understanding. And these two persons that will be in charge of keeping our relations alive. Okay? Concerning
very happy to know these key persons.
Concerning your question, and we would like to tell you about how we manage, or we are managing the COVID-19. I don't have the last figures here, but maybe you have it. We are having a little peak at this moment of infection, of people being infected by the COVID. But the last numbers, just to give you an idea, we have 1,117 cases at this moment, right? We have 149 active cases, and we have recovered about 934 people, and we only, well, it's a bad news, but we only have 34, I repeat, 34 people who died from the coronavirus, or COVID-19, sorry. Figures are very small, and they are very, in a sort of way, with this pandemic situation is controlled. It's being controlled by the country, by the government, and they're doing a magnificent work. I have to be honest, and we recognize the whole community, the whole population recognize that the government is doing a magnificent work. From the beginning, they act very quickly. So they took measures at the beginning, and they were very fast to respond against the COVID. If we go back to see how the impact that the COVID had in our economy, well, the first 15 days, the last 15 days of March and the first 15 days of April, the economy actually came to a lockdown. We just closed everything, and all the people went to took their own quarantine, not an obliged quarantine, right? It was just voluntary, which is a very important thing. It's a big difference. The people, the population itself, they decided to go back to their houses, and they kept in the houses for a month, more or less. So the economy was closed for that period. And then we first started on the 13th of April with the construction. And then we keep moving very slowly. And by the 4th of May, we can say that was a day that the local business reopened again. We are going forward in very small steps forwards, but we luckily until now we don't have to do any. We didn't do any backstop, right? So we went always forward. Now we are a little bit afraid because we have, as I told you, a peak of infections, of people who is being infected by the coronavirus. But at this moment, we are doing. I would say that we are doing quite well, or very well, concerning to what is happening to our country, our neighbors, right? Especially Brazil or Argentina, we are threatened by them because we have a very wide open frontier with them, border, and a dry border, especially with Brazil. And we have a lot of commerce with Brazil. Land commerce. I mean, we have a lot of trucks coming and going from Brazil to Uruguay, and they go back to Argentina. We have some cases in that area, but it's being controlled at the moment. We have some different sectors of our economy. They're doing quite well. The other ones are doing fairly well. And we have some other sectors that they're not working at this moment, and they're in a very bad situation. They are suffering a lot, this pandemic. Famous coronavirus. But I think that if we keep with these figures and we can control the pandemic, we are very optimistic to see that maybe by December we can have a more stronger economy growing. But I mean, it will take a long time to reestablish our economy.
Mr. President, maybe it's very important also to underline that COVID arrived in Uruguay also 15 days later than a new government took the place and took the power in Uruguay with a very huge agenda, but the new government had to renovate this agenda immediately to take all the measures needed and was able to control the pandemic in a very short time and in a very efficient way. So this is also very important to understand.
Yes, let me tell you something. I am a victim of the COVID. I had COVID with my wife. We were one of the first groups that we were infected. We went to a wedding here, the famous wedding in Uruguay, and we got COVID in the beginning. I started with a COVID, with an infection on the 18th of March. My wife a little bit earlier, some days before. And from the moment that we were detected that we were infected, and we were noticed by we took our exams, our tests, right? And we were noticed by the Ministry of Health here. They did a very close follow-up of our situation during the 14 days that we were at home. And when we had the last symptom of the coronavirus, we still had to keep 14 days more at home. And they took care of us perfectly, and they called us every 2 days to see how we were developing with the COVID. And that they did that not only for us, but they did it for all the people who were infected. So what they did is they act directly and very fast on this situation. And another thing that Diego said, which is very important, that I think that the COVID came a little bit late here to Uruguay. So we had a little bit of information to see what was happening around the world. And it gave us the time to be, at least, I won't say to be prepared, but at least to know what it was happening worldwide. So the government it didn't catch us by surprise. We were surprised. The only thing that's what Diego said is that imagine a new government was coming into office on the 1st of March, and by the 7th of March, we have the contentious this, and by the 13th of March, so 15 days after they came into office, they have this situation. And they managed very, very good, very good. And something that is very important to say that the way our people act against the behavior they had against the COVID. Everyone, all Uruguayan citizens respond in a very, very, very good way.
Excellent, Mr. President. So happy that coronavirus, COVID-19 didn't harm you, because many of people who are getting this illness are very.
Let me say something. I was much nicer before the COVID. Now it's what you can see now.
Maybe a few words about Turkey, because during this period, Turkey was in the center of pandemic, because we have neighbors, and Turkey, is hosting a lot of international flights and it's an open country. But in Turkey, when you look to figures and the way it was managed, we saw that the health system was very strong. That's why from the beginning, people were taken in hospitals, they had medicines, they had specific treatments. And as you say, even one death is one too much death for families and relatives, of course. But figures in Turkey were under control. When we look at, of course, US, Brazil, Europe, Western Europe, the figures are very disastrous in these countries. But the other important thing we have experienced as a business community during this period is the necessity to keep open logistic roads, of course, and also it was important that production can continue and that products can be transferred through countries, and in these aspects, of course, there were some difficulties, and it will be a lesson for the future, of course, for all of us. And coming to Turkey-Uruguay relations, economic relations, of course, your opinion is very important, of course, but we know that we must do a lot to make our businessmen know each other's country, because I think about information we have a big work to do, and that's why today's webinar is very important, and the informations we are going to give here are very important. As you have mentioned about agriculture, about agro-food, about also some different aspects, we have already business relations, we have already foreign trade. But when we look at amounts, of course, they are not very important. Maybe there is a point that we can work about together is about the free trade agreements with Uruguay or with Mercosur directly. And about this, I think we can lobby together, work together to make that this agreement can be signed, because business needs open doors, and the most important is not to have these tariff barriers, which are very important. But before arriving to this, maybe you can say to our business members who are listening now, which sectors they shall go invest or make trade with Uruguay, your members, businessmen. What would you advise to our members? Which sectors would you advise them? I think the voice is closed.
Sorry. Now it's okay. You can hear me now.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned already some areas or sectors that we are working with Turkish, and we have other opportunities too, so we can develop more business. Like, for example, services. We are very strong in services, and we have financial services, but also we can do. We are very good in some industries like IT. In IT, we are exporting a lot of software, and Uruguay is recognized in the region as a strong partner or a strong player in this area. Other things we can do, which is very important also to develop, is tourism. Tourism is important in this region, Uruguay, because what I told you before in my introduction, the conditions of the country make interesting the tourism. Uruguay is a very safety country. It can guarantee you a lot of things, and it's a very stable country. So it's interesting for tourists to come. We have a very, as you have, I know because I've been there. You have beautiful coasts in Turkey, But we also have very good coast tours in Uruguay, especially on the east part. And we have very good resorts, summer resorts in this part with a lot of people. We have this famous gold spot called Punta del Este, which is an international resort, which is very good for tourism. And we have a very good thing to develop that we already told you about the free zones. Uruguay is very strong, and we have some very interesting free zones, especially to work in Uruguay, but also to use it as a trampoline for the rest of South America. And we are also in this area about free zones. We have a special free zone for the pharmacy industry, which is very, very strong here. A lot of labs, international labs are installed in Uruguay and they're working here. And it's something which is very important, that these two big free zones that I'm talking about, it's between 5 to 7 minutes from the airport and about 20 minutes from their bases to the port. So connection is very easy here. Other thing that Uruguay can offer, Uruguay is connected with Wi-Fi almost in the whole country, and that's very important. It's very easy to get connected to internet in Uruguay. So we have a lot of opportunities to develop here.
If you allow me a little bit, we started a very deep research here with the help of some professional consultancy, and my two great secretaries here that helped me a lot. We started to research and to study the potential areas and sectors that for Uruguay could be good to develop here, the relationship with companies from Turkish companies. So, of course, agri-food and agricultural is the main sector and is the traditional sector for exportation, for export of Uruguay. So, in that meaning, livestock, we have a very great exchange nowadays in livestock with Turkey. Turkey is our main buyer of this Uruguayan product, so we are very good, but we know already that maybe is some kind of business that will take not much time to be closed, because some political affairs, some political issues here in Turkey. But we are a very good producer in rice, in butter, in dairy products, in citrics, in grains, in soya, in cellulose, in also in wood. And this is from the traditional aspect and traditional export sector for Uruguay. That is very good to try to develop even more this area. But there are so many other areas that maybe are not so known, are not so famous as as an Uruguayan provider. That is, like the president said, chemical and pharmaceutical industry, software, and of course, biotechnology. These four sectors are very well developed in Uruguay, and maybe we have to try also to help the match between Uruguayan companies and Turkish companies. And from the point of view of tourism, let me tell you that we are negotiating now with Turkish Airlines the possibility that Turkish Airlines flights directly to Montevideo from Istanbul, going through Barcelona. We are negotiating now also with the government of Spain, taking care or taking advantage of this air freedom. And thanks to this regime could connect Montevideo to Istanbul through Barcelona. The government of Turkish and Uruguay, of Turkey and Uruguay are already talking about this, and this is a very serious issue that maybe could help our exchange from that point of view, from the point of view of services and tourism.
Of course, about this Turkish Airlines issue, of course, from the moment the company, Turkish national company, goes directly to oil point, we know that we all businessmen will go easily, more easily, and do this business, of course. About biotechnology, about soja also, I think we have some of our members. Today we had a meeting with a company, one of our companies in Ankara, who are already working about soja with Guatemala. And they asked about this point in Uruguay. They wanted to develop some actions about biotechnology also. Last week we had a meeting with our 5,000 branches with Denizli, Antalya, Izmir, and Sparta. And there are a big will also to work on biotechnology and also about agro-food security, which is a very important subject for us. And on these fields, maybe also we can work together because, you know, US and especially Russia have specific 15, 18 years agro-security programs, especially because of their international operations, especially, but we can implement it for all of us because we go through COVID-19 where people even didn't want to see their own wives. And if someone tells you the food you are eating now can kill you, you won't eat it. Everybody will seek this agro-food security. And maybe about this also we can share some experience about livestock. Maybe we can really increase, and you know, in Turkey we have now the famous Eid Kebir Kurban Bayramı who is coming, and this morning we had a meeting with our ambassador in Senegal, in Dakar. Told us about this because they are only sacrificing sheep, not cows, etc., because of their beliefs. And it is about 800,000 only in one country. Maybe we can have common actions through Turkey to these different parts of the world. Because in our organization, of course, we have different sectors. And maybe today's MOU will be the beginning to a sectoral work with our members, because each sector has its own language when you look, and sometimes you had some difficulties to understand it if you are not from inside. And about livestock, about biotechnology, about, of course, we didn't speak about energy, but in Turkey we have now nearly 40% of energy which is bioenergy, which is clean energy, if we can say, alternative energies. About this aspect of energy, your companies are already working, I'm sure, but are there any opportunities for our members to work about also this energy sector in Uruguay? Are there any demand or collaboration possibilities?
Okay, Mr. President, if you allow me, I would like to already introduce, but I would like to tell Mr. Santiago Tuperino to explain about this matter. And maybe I forgot other business that maybe he had in mind or he noted here. So I would like him to explain.
Yes, before we were talking about the trade opportunities between our countries. There are some opportunities because of the complementary characteristics of our economies. And we identify some opportunities for the Turkish products here in our market, for the consumer products specifically. There we can identify some, for example, the part of vehicles here in Uruguay have a very significantly opportunity here. Here, Lestido is an expert in the area. Maybe he can tell us about that.
Is his business?
Part of vehicles, yes, he specializes in that area.
We must note it, it's important.
Yes, and also appliances. Appliances have very opportunities here in Uruguay for the market. About the question about the energy sector, if you ask it, yes, one of the sectors that has a significant opportunity here in Uruguay is the energy, specifically the renewable energy. Nowadays, Uruguay, almost 100% of the energy comes from renewable sources. So that's an opportunity for investment here in Uruguay. In the last years, last decades, the wind parks has increased enormously here in Uruguay. So that is a sector that has a big opportunity here in Uruguay.
Excellent. If I have well understood, 100% are renewable.
Eolic energy.
How did you do that?
We moved about almost 97%. We moved from oil, very old and oil generators to the sorry, wind parks, and also we are going now to solar cells, which is the next step we're doing. But we are 90% of our energy is renewable.
Excellent. No, it's very interesting.
Uruguay is has a lot of winds. It's a very windy country, very windy country. So wind is a lot of it's an issue that's very easy to have here, and so we have in the last 20 years the wind parks grew in very serious numbers.
Oh, it's excellent. I think it's maybe one of the only countries with this level of renewable energy. So it's very important to be known. About the 3 free zones you spoke about, I think free zones, because there is no free trade agreements, these free zones conditions, can you give some details for our businessmen? What does it involve? These free zones, you say they are near the airport?
No, they are located near the airport. You have, I think, I don't remember by heart, but I think we have at least between 4 and 6 free zones in the country now.
More than 10.
We have more than 10, just 15, right?
Different free zones.
Different free zones, right. I remember the big ones, so sorry for that information. But they are located, some of them on the west part of the country, which is very close to Argentina. The other ones, the ones I know more, these ones are located in the capital, in Montevideo or near Montevideo. And they are located, as I tell you, very close to the airport. These 3 free zones, that's the word said, it's a free zone where you can work and produce whatever you want, and it's a piece of land which is outside the country, right? And you don't have local taxes or duties to pay if you are installed in the free zone, right? And it's a very well in the region. It's very well known, and it's a very good business here in the country.
Okay, so when Turkish Airlines will fly direct, then with the cargo system also, I think coupling it with these free zones we can have
Yes.
some very interesting things. About car parts, I think in MÜSİAD we have 3 zones in Turkey, which are in Bursa, in Konya, and in Ankara also. And our members are very active in this field because, you know, Europe's cars are very big part are produced in Turkey, and Turkey just launched its own brand a few months ago. Normally it will be till this year there will be a Turkish 100% Turkish car. Maybe in this field we can also have a collaboration with your members because to enter the South American market, even Central America, maybe a collaboration with your companies can be a good option.
Yes. Well, Uruguay has a very small market industry, about cars in the car industry, right? We have actually one company there is assembling cars for the region, and it's the Renault group, Renault and Nissan group here, that they are assembling some cars. We used to have a strong industry in the past, but not anymore. Concerning that, we assemble the car here, so we import the pieces, right, or the parts of the car. Normally, they came in this system which is called CKD. I don't know, you know that name. CKD means complete knockdown. So the car was assembled here, with the company the factory send the car completely assembled, and we assemble the car here. But we need to develop, because our regulations in those days and still now, for import products, we have to export products. So Uruguay has a good industry in parts, in automobile parts, and we also consume a lot of spare parts from worldwide, especially for trucks. I don't know if you're doing your industry involve also trucks.
Yes.
But in trucks, you know that the forestry industry is very big here, and we consume, for our size, a lot of trucks, big trucks during the year. And normally with these people, and to be honest, I have a friend of mine who is one of the owners of a big company here, a truck company, and I think he's buying parts from Turkey.
Excellent. You know, Renault.
In fact, there is the parts for trucks and car parts is our from the point of view of Turkey is one of the biggest sectors. Yes, we have 4 sectors from the point of view of Turkish exportations that are very good, but could be also better in the future in our exchange. That is one of them, household machinery, and this is very good, is working very good, and is one of the first items that Turkey sells to Uruguay. Motors and car parts is the second one. There is also many possibilities in the sector of iron and steel. There is some good opportunities, and we have to work together in that way, because maybe could be great opportunities for business there. And also, and not less important, clothes. You have here in Turkey a great industry for clothes. So maybe it's some other sector that we have to investigate and analyze a little bit. Which kind of products could be better to try to put in Uruguayan market?
Excellent. About textile, I think clothing and textile, I think also, as Mr. Consul General said, really for Turkey, it's a very, very big part of Turkish economy. and it can be very, very interesting. But a sector is very important also is infrastructure and construction. This field is very important. We had some meetings in past weeks with many international organizations. What is the situation of construction and infrastructure in Uruguay? What are the opportunities for our companies? And if there is about housing also, because when you look at population and the country's position, how can you say about these aspects?
About construction and infrastructure, I say that first of all, we talk a little bit, I will invert the items and I will go first for infrastructure. We, as I told you, we are having a new government that started on the 1st of March. They are preparing the budget for the next 5 years. And Uruguay is investing a lot in infrastructure, especially in roads. We are doing, we need to have a big idea of maintaining our routes, because as I told you, our forestry industry is very big. And we have a lot of trucks going up and down in our country. And this, in a sort of way, we need to keep our roads in good conditions, because not only for the trucks, but for the public in general. And so they need to invest. We are having now, by next year, one of the second plant of this big group, UPM from Finland, is installing a plant, pulp of cellulosa to export. And they are, well, building this new plant, but they also are building a railway from the plant to the port, which is for our dimensions and figures, we're talking about $1,000 million here, which is a big number for a country, only for the railway. So we need to import iron. We will need to import a lot of things. I think it's opening a new business and a big opportunity for Turkey to show their products. Sí, perdón, Diego, go ahead. Diego.
No. I am following you. No, this is very important to be underlined, because we are a developing country. Of course, we need a lot of infrastructure. We have a very good things. We have a very good new airport. We are trying to develop also our port zones. But it's very important to be clear that Uruguay maybe sometimes needs investment in the infrastructure, even not only for the domestic market, but also for the exportation area. So we need a lot of investment in infrastructure, in general infrastructure in the country, for the domestic market, but even for help our export sector. And this is very important, because these 2 points of view represent many different possibilities, you know. And other thing that maybe your businessmen have to be very clear, have to know, is that Uruguay is very, very open for getting investment for abroad. We have a very beneficial promotion system and comprehensive legal framework for investment. So this is very important. It's very easily to open a business there in Uruguay. It's very easy to open an account in the bank. It's very easy to take out your profits also. Once you are working in Uruguay and your company is in Uruguay giving you profits, you can take the profits out of the country without many explications, because it's money. For Uruguay, it's your money. and you are free to take your money out. This is also very important. From that point of view, Uruguay is a very, very particular Latin American country, and it's very easy to do business with us. We have other kind of not so good things, but in this line, we are very good and we are very serious people in business.
There's no doubt that what they were saying is correct. I can confirm that. And to be honest, concerning some Turkish products, I am not in the construction industry, but I have friends, and they told me that they are importing iron, as Diego said, mentioned before. And they always told me that they are very good very competitive in prices and very good in quality. So I have a good friend, by the way, the president of the Uruguayan Industry Chamber. He is involved in the iron industry, and he is importing from Turkey, I think so. So he was a guy who told me that. And in the construction area, we have a lot of things, opportunities. And on the other side, I think what Diego told us recently is it's very important. Uruguay is a very friendly country for people or businessmen who decide to invest and develop business in Uruguay. Uruguay believes a lot. Uruguay believes a lot in the private property. It's in our constitution. We defend that as the free work. We also recognize the union. So, but they're on the same stage, right? You have unions, we are allowed, and we recognize by our constitution that workers can get together in a union, but we also recognize the free work. Everyone who wants to work can work freely, and also we defend a lot and promote the private property.
Excellent. Mr. President, there is also a very important aspect is culture, because culture economy is very important also. And we know that in Uruguay there are Ottomans. Historically, there are also Ottomans in the region. So we have come.
Sorry to disturb you, but we didn't hear about its future economy or
Culture, yes, culture economy. About culture, you know, what do we mean? In Turkey, and we spoke of this with Mr. Consul General, we have specific programs for international students. And we know that if we want to have this common business community members, when a student studies in a country for 5 years, he becomes member of this community, and he can be a very good also ambassador for his country and for the country where he is studying. And we have a specific program where these students are taken into charge by companies. From the moment they arrive in the country, one company is taking care of them, integrating them inside the company. And after these 5 years, these young people are creating their own companies or becoming representatives of this company in their own country. And we think that it is one of the best way to develop a relationship between our two countries. And about this, an exchange, of course, in both sides, that young Turkish students go to Uruguay and Uruguayan young people come to Turkey and have this period in Turkey where they will be part of Turkish economy. And once they go back, then they will be very effective and very successful in their business with Turkey, of course, but also about all the region and the hinterland of our country. About this also, I think if you have some programs like this, and Mr. Consul General is working about this, we know, I think it is a good way to integrate this student in the economy, and also to open new doors cultural doors, because they will learn the language, they will learn Spanish if they go to Uruguay, and Turkish if they come here. And it will develop common understanding and, of course, common business. And about this point, I want to know also what do you think and what kind of collaboration we can develop.
Yes, of course, we think it's very important. We don't have information that something similar is happening in the country, in our country. We think it's a very important thing to develop, because it not only you can grow on the economic side, but you can grow in the cultural side, and at the end of the day, both things are growing. They join, they get together. So I think that it's something very important that we will find out. We were talking while you were explaining or doing your presentation. We didn't find something similar, or we don't know if something similar is happening in the country, but we were going to find out, if we're going to give you a feedback as soon as possible, because we think that this is a very good idea. To be honest, we never heard something about this, and we can start doing, this is something that we can start doing now.
We have the experience of the son of our great and famous TV lady, Ovaldia. The son of Ovaldia, Joaquin Russo, is doing a scholarship here. He's doing a master in Mimar Sinan University. He's doing now, and he told me that he creates a very, very great connection with Turkey, thanks this experience here. He speaks very well Turkish now, and he's trying to help business between Turkey and Uruguay nowadays. He's trying to match companies in the wine sector now. So he's a businessman, was or is still a student in the master, but is developing in a businessman that will help, is starting to help our commercial relationship. So we have there, in this guy, we have a first, as far as I know, a first experience regarding that purpose or that object that you told us, President Güvercin.
Yes.
Diego, that was very important, something we didn't know. And but I think what Mr. President said is very important, it's something to develop, because this is actually young people coming to the companies to work. So they get, we have something similar, it's not the same, which is what we call the dual formation. There's something that's developed by the German government, through the German chamber here of commerce, where it's being developed in the country, but this is more local. The student comes and works in your company while he is also studying. And but what Mr. President offered us, I think it's a very good idea that I never heard something similar in the country. So I promise I will take personally this matter, and I will work with Santiago and Ana Laura in a few days to see if we can find out something.
Many of our companies have become international or have doubled their exports with these young people. Because if a Uruguayan young people is in our company for 5 years, we don't need so much to have contacts in Uruguay, because he knows the market, he knows the actors, he knows everybody. It is an added value that is very interesting, and it is valuable in both sides, of course. And this model has been developed by us during nearly 4 years. It is our 4th year, and I think it is a very good model even for your companies when you want to develop in a region. the best is to have someone from the region and someone who is arriving in your company from the first day that he arrives in the country. Then you can trust, he knows you, you know the person, and he grows with you in the country. And I think that is, of course, very interesting. I think we have gone, we did not even see the time going through because it is nearly 5 p.m. here. That means it was really very interesting. And thank you for this. Mr. Consul General, Mr. President, if you agree, then we can go through the signing of the document.
Of course, with pleasure.
Okay.
I won't sign anything, but I am here with you.
Well, Mr. President,
normally you should sign also, Mr. Consul General. So it is signed. Maybe I will just show from our side. It is like this.
Good.
I don't know if you can see it. Well, I will get closer to the camera.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And
then we said
we will send it to you, mail it to you, and we'll receive your plot here.
And
once again, Mr. President, thank you very much.
We hope this document and this collaboration will be fruitful. Of course, the best is that we travel in each other's country in coming, I hope, weeks. And Mr. Consul General, I would be very happy if we travel together with our delegation in Uruguay to see you in this place and have these physical meetings, because digital meetings are fine, but in our culture, we need to have some food.
Yes.
We need to have some direct contacts. So thank you very much, Mr. Consul General, for permitting this very important historical moment for our countries, and Mr. President and their key persons for this very interesting meeting. See you soon in our Istanbul city, and also hoping that COVID will not go through yours and families, and we hope safe time for all of us. Long live Uruguay and long live Turkey. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks. In the name of the three of us and the Uruguayan Chamber of Commerce, we would like to thank you very much. And especially thanks also to Diego for all the magnificent work he has done. And I hope to see you soon personally. I had the chance, I remember visiting one of the beautiful posts you have, Dacha in Bodrum.
Yes,
Bodrum.
you know the right places, yes.
Right, I was there many years ago. I went on a sailing boat and it was incredible. I spent one night in, I think it was in Dacha.
So why not spend some time there with Mr. Consul General in Dacha?
Yeah.
Would be wonderful.
I promise to go there, and and I hope to see you soon, and so we can stretch hands and get together, and I can drink those beautiful coffee, Turkish coffee.
Inshallah. Thank you very much.
Let me tell you how happy I am here today for this great opportunity. Wish you both the best of luck, and the best wishes for a very productive exchange and very good relationship. I am, and the consulate will be here all the time, open for helping you, supporting you, and giving you all the information you both fight. And I celebrate this opportunity and this initiative because proves that even with COVID, we as a human being, we can find a way to produce productive things and to go on, continue working. That is very important.
Excellent.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Best wishes for you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.